That'll be the info dump truck backing up. Mike, go ahead.
Episode 21, The Birth of Nerve. Deputy Commander Kozo Fuyutsuki is kidnapped and interrogated by Zile, who are outraged that in its last battle, Unit 1 absorbed the S2 engine from an angel into its body, so that it no longer requires an external power source and can now function indefinitely. Meanwhile, Kaji goes AWOL to try to find out the truth about Nerve. As Fuyutsuki is interrogated by Zile, he recounts in flashbacks how he first met Gendo and Yui, the dark events surrounding Second Impact, and how Nerve and the Evangelion project were born. Flashbacks also reveal the history of Misato, Ritsuko, and Rei. Fuyutsuki is rescued by Kaji, and Fuyutsuki warns him that Zile will want him dead now. That evening, Kaji is shot by an unseen assassin. Misato receives a voicemail from Kaji in which he urges her to continue his search for the truth about Nerve, and from its nature, she deduces that he is dead and breaks down in grief. This episode was a lot. It was, what was it, like 15 years of exposition?
Much.
Yeah.
All over the place.
It was a little hard to follow. I wish it kind of went at this chronologically because it seemed like they just jumped around a lot. And I know
they like structured it by character as opposed to by year, which made it a little bit disorienting at times.
Yeah. Did any of you guys ever, some of you have heard of David Cage, but ever play the game Beyond Two Souls?
Yes.
I haven't.
This reminds me of their version of jumping around.
Yeah. That's a good
seems accurate.
Analogy.
Yeah.
I remember playing that game and I'm like, man, I'm kind of enjoying it and such. And this is, of course, all before David Cage turned out to be a crappy person. It was just like, it's like, oh man, here's this big story moment. And then it cuts to Elliot Page.
Yes.
Being like, I want to go out. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a big old dump of stuff that makes no sense to put in gameplay details. But anyway, so we should just go through some stuff because man, trying to do this in order would be a nightmare. And one thing that I want to start out with is Mama Akage is a fucking psycho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Killing a kid, and then I assume she leapt like to her death, like jumped off or something.
Probably.
The blood splatters there, though.
I was just thinking, like, was the loud noise a gun or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So is this the definitive proof that the Rei that we see in the present is a clone?
Remember when she said I would just be replaced?
Yep.
Yeah. Like there's a shot also, I believe it's in the intro, where you see just an escalating row of Reis. I also believe it's been in an episode already.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And
just some colleague's daughter.
And the colleague is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
But with that first sequence, basically the recording of whatever they found at the Antarctic, you see it in the background for a split second, and then the opening kicks in.
Yeah, it's one of the simplest yet coolest angel designs in the entire show.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It is when you see it in its full brevity. But yeah, there's a lot that gets dumped on here that basically explains every single thing that's come in. And the one that I forget it every time is that Gendo took her last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing in Japan?
That I don't know. If someone watching this knows that or not, put it in the comments because I have legitimately no idea. That's a very rare thing in America. I don't know if that's a thing over there.
Maybe it is just unique, like between couples.
Or also because that Gendo originally had a really lame last name, Kikuya Bungo.
Yeah, no, Ikari does sound cleaner.
Yeah, it does. And
Yeah.
yeah. Also, hey, Mike, what character does Yui Ikari look identical to?
Gee, I wonder.
Couldn't it be the character we've seen this whole time used as a guilt trip to Shinji before becoming an actual character? But
We get to see with brown hair for one scene.
Mm-hmm. God, this show is
so
much. It's great, but it's also infuriating.
It is.
I feel like they were supposed to have more episodes, but then it's just like, oh, what do you mean we only have enough for 5 episodes? Okay, This will be the info dump episode. So let's just get it all going. At least it was all mostly new footage.
And it was, exactly. And oh boy, does a beard do a lot for Gendo.
He looks very nerdy without the beard.
You could tell that he's Shinji's dad without the beard. Yeah.
Oh, easily.
He looks like such a man-child without a beard, on which I will agree. If any of you guys have seen the pictures of me at Comic-Con when I dressed up as Nero, oh boy, am I never shaving for anything other than a cosplay ever again.
The day I left my my job at our local grocery store, that's when I'm like, oh, wait, you mean I can grow a beard again? Yes.
Yes.
I have not been clean shaven since then.
Nice. That Comic-Con was the first time I was clean shaven, and I want to say 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Fully. I've gotten it down, but I was never fully all the way down razor shave clean. But anyway, I also like how all of them are like, man, Gendo's really unapproachable, and I don't see why anyone would want to date him. Cue every woman he's met in his organization trying to jump on him.
Yep.
Everyone from Yui to Dr. Ikage.
Yeah,
because he looks like the most pleasant individual.
He does. He looks like he looks like a sketchy dude when he's younger. More sketchy than when he's older. And oh boy, does he look sketchy when he's older.
More sketchy than Kaji?
Yeah, Kaji's at least attractive.
Yeah.
True.
So, yeah, and the weird part is a lot of this stuff was info dump about stuff that we kind of knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just okay, we just unearthed a whole ton of stuff to you. Let's just make sure we repeat everything from the beginning.
And make sure there's no blanks in between the slight bits of lore that we've given you. Here's every bit of filler in between all those bumps in the new road that we just made. So by the time that we're going to mention a shitload more stuff coming up, you're crystal clear on the last 20 episodes.
For example, did we really need to explain Magi again?
No.
Or, I mean, it was kind of cool to see the Ava, the prototype, the thing birthed from Adam. Okay, we've kind of seen that. It looks creepy as hell with the hands and just a spine.
Yeah, it does. It looks like someone who just experienced a Mortal Kombat fatality. But so that's our starting point. Do you want to be a part of this project here? What is this project? We'll find out.
Also, remember, was it 1 episode or 2 episodes ago where I said it almost feels as if Nerve is the villain?
Yeah.
I stand by that.
Yeah, how they're prophesying the third impact and getting it ready just for this.
They want to go through with it.
They want to. And I do think it's cool that they mention about how all this stuff came to be. The favorite info dump that comes in this episode is that Tokyo 3 and the underground, everything is the perfect exact dome as it was in the Antarctic. It's formed the same exact way.
Yep.
I just love that. It's
a little additional world building.
Yeah.
And no, I don't know where to start. Okay, so it was kind of interesting to see, what's her name? Ritsuko with purple hair. And then I guess at some point she became a delinquent and dyed it blonde. But
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, yeah, we get to see the mom.
I know it's like
And
at first I was
then,
like, wait a minute, who's this person? And it's like,
yeah, exactly. Everyone that we talked about in the show that you never got to see was everybody. Here's what they look like, and they look exactly like their children, but with different hair.
Pretty much.
I can't tell if that's inspired or lazy.
Both.
A little both.
Both. Yeah, it's Guy Next we're talking about.
Yeah,
both is good.
Yeah.
And then I assume the we're in Germany. I'm going to assume that's where Asuka is because I forgot. Is she from Germany?
Yeah, she transports over from Germany.
Okay, because it's like, okay, so there's that connection.
Because she has also has the most. Her name is Asuka Langley Shiryu. Only her middle name sounds German.
Yeah,
she's the most Japanese named German person I've ever seen.
Yep,
it's like any time a middling European centric anime. It's like, okay, we need a name for a German character. How about like Schwartz or something? And it's like, okay, yeah, okay. How many characters have you said already? Let's see, we got Schwartz 1, Schwartz 2, Schwartz 3.
Yeah, exactly. Schwarzenhausen. Thank you. Yeah. Righty.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Asuka didn't have like a mother or father who just like looked exactly like her show up in this episode.
Did we even see Asuka? I kind of blinked for a moment.
I don't think we saw her because she didn't have any. We basically established that Sato was in Germany, establishing whatever working at
the third branch.
The third branch that is pronounced nowhere near how I would pronounce it. Gahin.
All the references. Oh my gosh, this show.
Yeah. And we got to hear the best part is in the intro. We got to hear them say Longinus again.
Longinus. I do find it kind of amusing that Shinji was there, and it's just like they're like, "This isn't a daycare center," and it's like, yeah, like especially when what we've seen before, whatever that they had in the giant tank in front of them, what if that thing just punched through the glass again?
Yeah, and the best part about that is Fuyutsuki was like sitting with Yui at that lake, and she was playing with Shinji. The next scene, it cuts to when they're doing the experiment, and they're like, "Ghetto, whose kid is that? Do you have amnesia? Like yesterday, you saw that kid, and it's his wife's kid. It's his kid." But also they're like, we wanted him to be here when we show the safe future of everything. And I'm just like, you could have put up a monitor.
Reminder, this is Gendo's kid. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Don't worry, hold on. He needs to be there because... That's technically 0. It's unit 0. Technically, unit 0 is important. I apologize.
No, but still. And I love that I love that Shinji's mom just vanishes without a trace. And then, I mean, of course, we know what happens.
Well, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, who's this new kid? Ray. Someone asked me to watch over her. Yeah, that's it.
That's the story I'm sticking to. No one's going to ask me who this colleague was.
And the only one who does notices it and then strangles it and then, well, you saw, but...
Yeah, it strangles it after it calls it an old hag. Why would you say that? Because my dad said you're one.
Ouch.
Harsh much?
Yeah, yoish.
My gosh. And it's like the whole, I mean, we had to get that they didn't like each other, but I was just like, when Akage goes after him, I was just like, what in this process made that jump happen? Like, it's not something that I'm against. I just wish something that would have been explained better. Like, we needed to have someone choke Ray, I guess, to show in the past that they're clones. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, she disappeared. Like I wish she always had. I am a horrible person. Anyway, so he's single now.
Yeah. You hear that, ladies? He's single. All right.
He's single and ready to treat his son like shit. You can find him at Nerve HQ. Mike, what was your favorite bit of like info dumpage that was in this one?
Favorite bit of info dumpage. Honestly, I think just the overall like creation of Nerve, how it basically starts from the third branch that got dissolved. I kind of like just episodes like these, even though they can be a bit prequelitis-esque, you know, it's still kind of fun to see like the younger versions of all these characters.
Yeah,
and just getting to know Yui a little bit more as a person and not just mommy issues.
Yeah, and this was the version of like, you know, all this stuff happened, but you got to like experience it a little bit. Like, this is a better version of what that does. It's like, we did not need to know how Darth Vader became Darth Vader.
Yeah,
right.
This
if it was
is like,
only cooler, but
yeah, exactly. If it was cooler, it'd be whatever. But this was like an entire organization of a crap ton of people that we learned stuff about, not just we made up an entire trilogy to explain how the guy got in the Iron Lung. Like, we didn't.
How he got sad.
Exactly.
It would have been cool to see like an entire feature film that was a prequel to Ava, kind of like, you know, something like the history of like Bardock, the father of Goku. Something like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I will say there was a little bit of a weird tone change when it's just like, oh, here's this kind of low-key drama and storytelling, and then it's just like, dear diary, I met a friend.
Yeah, exactly. It became very Life is Strange there for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I got her. It's like, I guess he just never shuts up. Hardy har har. And then child murder. And then there goes my friend.
Yeah,
it was like
whiplash.
rolling the dice on the next scene. Are we gonna be happy or sad? Happy or sad? But child murder. Okay, cool. What about the next one? I need a drink.
All right. So place your bets. Who do you think shot the KG?
I'm not saying anything.
Alrighty.
So
Mike. It's obviously someone from Zile. Although, what if it was Gendo? He is a bad person.
I'm not saying anything. Although I will say, the first time I watched this, I was like, okay, so Misato's out of her cell, and she just got given a gun.
I thought that too. Until
it's too obvious, though.
And I know that was it. When I watched it at first, it was like, hey, it's been a while. Poosh! And then all of a sudden she goes home and she's crying over the voicemail. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, that's the voicemail was like, oh, okay, so it wasn't.
Yeah,
got it.
That's the first time I watched it. Then I was like, I'm a moron. Why would you do this?
Okay, so a quick question. So when the scientist guy, what's his name, Kozo, was getting interrogated, what have you, by the bureaucrats that don't leave, why did it have to turn into like why did they have to have like a 2001 Space Odyssey?
The voice modulator.
The voice modulator. Doesn't he know who they are?
Yeah, I don't know what the whole point of that was. And it was like audio only as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing about that made sense.
It reminds me of that scene in the Venture Brothers when like the Society of Evil Villains or whatever, they're all talking and then like one of them gets hijacked and it's like, hold on, I can't hear you. What's going on? I can't see you. Hold on, I'm going to go into your room and such. And it's like, okay, so I don't know. It just brought that reference up or something for me.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of when like the first voice came up, I just immediately imagined, I want to play a game.
Yeah, exactly. The Saw voice when it was like one person was normal, and the next person's making death traps. I'm like, wait. Why is the one guy scared that you could hear his voice, but the other ones aren't? You're from the same, or like, okay.
Yeah, the same 5 people who sit around being like, in hindsight, this was a bad idea.
Yeah. I also, before we get off the episode, I do always get a chuckle out of the beginning where it's like they're showing the creation of the thing what I'm not going to say. But
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it cuts to the video content warning, like you're not allowed to see the rest of this. I'm like, oh, aren't you cheeky?
I know. At first, I joked with myself just saying like, "Oh wow, that was a great series." Okay, everybody, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Glad we got
Great
to
5
see
minutes.
that.
They only had enough episode money for like 5 minutes, and then they showed you what they showed, and that was it. Bye.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like other than stuff happened, news, info, noises. I'm turning into the CinemaSins guy after a while. But yeah, this is just a lot of contextualization for them basically saying what is bringing them to trying to make the third impact happen. So
yeah.
This was an important episode, but a dense one.
Yeah, and
So
it never
dense.
put the brakes on ever.
No, it's
2005,
like,
2015, 2000, going here, going twice.
it's like slow down.
Yeah.
It's like wait, what did you say? Oh, okay, bye.
See ya, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's cool. Again, it's one of those. They're saving the big bad fights for later and other things like that. But this is another one where, again, it was all an info dump, but they at least shot new stuff for it.
Yeah.
They didn't reuse. So
Yeah.
I think overall that's the one thing I appreciate about it. While the exposition was dense, at least we got to see some new footage and meet some characters that have only been mentioned.
Yep. And the best one thing that I get a kick out of it, and I was waiting to tell my friend when we get to the final parts of it, is that finally Shinji's in a room where someone else is having an existential breakdown, and he's like, "There's nothing I can do."
Yeah. Yeah, for once, it's like, I mean, like, I know it's like, what can I do? I'm a kid. There's nothing I can do. And I'm sure they cut away before he said, like, thank God I'm not the only one having an existential crisis. Okay.
Some other people got problems, huh? That needs to go.
99 problems, and none of those are mine today.
Thankfully, none of them are mine. Misato's gonna drink herself to sleep tonight for a bad reason this time.
Yeah.
Or good reason, I should say. But it's man, yeah, it's weird. It's like I cut off purposely because I'm trying to make myself forget what the episodes are coming up and stuff like that, because it's probably going to be the last one we do of this recording session. Then we'll have like 2 more recording sessions to go. We'll be done with the series proper before we do movies. But it's crazy as it is to think. But yeah. Mike, we're going to go not as much as the seatbelt warning thing here, but like the story of the series as a whole, now that you're enveloping it more, are you liking the directions it's headed, how it's been told, the overall, obviously the ham-fistedness with the Christian themes and a couple of things like that? Like, are you appreciating how it's coming together?
Yeah, I mean, we're in these reviews, we're being snarky. We're picking a lot of nits, but on the whole, I genuinely see why the show is as highly regarded as it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. To be clear, like there are times where I'm just like, oh, I do not like this episode, but I am enjoying the series.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's why we picked it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're not gonna just go through a series that we hate. That's what 0 stars is for.
We come up a different show for that.
Yeah. No, I've enjoyed going through this again, and it makes me excited whenever we get to do like Die Guard or Pad Labor, because then it's like my childhood is in front of my eyes.
Exactly. We're gonna get around to more because these are easy to produce, and I enjoy doing them. Yeah, and as long as I could keep getting awesome art from Pedro, which you guys they got to see, it just got done recently, but yeah, he knocked it out of the park again. He's the same guy that did the Gurren stuff, and I got a fun little tacky thing that I haven't told you guys about yet, and I'm going to let you experience with each episode as it comes up. It's a fun idea outside of the artwork that's going to be a part of each intro that'll be different on each episode, which I think will be funny. So we'll see. But all right. Cameron, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/CamsEyeView. I have my own website called camseyeview.biz where I review animated films and shows called The Other Side of Animation. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/CamsEyeView. I am also the co-host of the Renegade Animation podcast for renegadepopculture.com. So that's where you can find me.
All right. Mike, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. Check out all my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. Find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. All of our podcasts you can find on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero. Everyone, we are getting really close to the end of this, which is weird, considering I will have almost a year's of content just off of Fresh Takes. That to me is ridiculous. So it's been awesome that we got to do this. And at some point, even after we're going this, I'm going to have to see if I have over 100 videos on my YouTube channel, because toward the end of this, I'll probably have it. And that to me is mind blowing, considering I had like 15, I think, before this started. So I've just really been enjoying it. I enjoy that people are watching it, and that Kiona, Mike, everybody was nice enough to suggest it and have it get put up on the website, because I'm not going to lie. When I was looking up title cards and stuff to do on YouTube for Gurren, when I saw our stuff popping up, I tear up a little bit, because
that was cool.
That's awesome. It's cool to be a part of the search gallery. So yeah, everybody, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Peace out.